I really enjoyed this movie. Vandals was incredible. It shocked me. Why was this topic so important to you?
Well, I've been doing graffiti since I was 10 years old. So I grew up in this world. This is really what I know for at least my formative years. So, it was graffiti that drove me to film school. When I was about 17, there was no career in graffiti to be had. There was no money to be made. It just wasn't there yet like it is now. So I had to think about something that would keep me in the arts, keep me in a creative field. And then I saw a movie, Amore Perros, from Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu, and then it just clicked. I was like, wow, okay, so if I can make a movie like that authentic and gritty in the graffiti world, then I have something that I'm interested in. So I went to film school, and once I learned how to make films, I was already like working on writing the script and trying to get a film made in this world.
Awesome. And your cast seems to have really immersed themselves in this culture and in this type of community. How important was it for you to get that type of cooperation from your cast?
It was huge. I mean, every single one of them were at least interested enough to want to take part in a movie that deals with graffiti. Our lead, Danny Zovatto, he's a painter in real life. So when we learned that, we were super excited. And on the other side, this film was a destiny for him as well, because he had always wanted to play an artist in a movie. So that totally mixed. And then we had one crew that was specifically graffiti artists, like world renowned graffiti artists, to basically be like our stunt graffiti crew for the cast. So, like, Danny was assigned a specific graffiti artist who was his double. So every time you see Damage bombing, it was this other graffiti writer. And then when you see Seismic bombing, it was a specific graffiti artist and a specific style. And they all hung together, so the cast was like becoming these guys. It was really impressive. I remember day one on set with Danny, it was very eerie because he completely reminded me of one of my old crew members. Like, he was acting like it, smoking a cigarette like him, talking like him. They dove in, and kudos to them. I think they crushed.
Definitely did. I think a lot of people when they see graffiti or squad or they consider it a gang or something negative, but I think this movie really portrayed it as a community, as a family. Um, how did you get to that point in casting in writing this?
I mean, that what you just mentioned was very important, to us when we were developing the film and writing it, just because graffiti artists from there I came up in were gangs, and there was fighting, and there was jail, there was all that, running from cops, all that. But then as the graffiti game got globalized and opened up, not it doesn't have to be that anymore. You can paint a wall legally. You can ask for permission. You can get paid by a brand to pay something, to paint something. You can evolve. It doesn't have to be just that. So that was important to show that in the film, where this character is at a crossroad of breaking out of what he was raised on, which was like that vandal life, that graffiti life, and being open to evolve into something else. And it's okay to be stable, make money, and not get arrested and still be a graffiti artist. I think this film, it was important to explore that.
Definitely. Street art has definitely evolved over the last 20 years. Even when I was growing up, we had our graffiti artists, and they were seen different. And now, like you said, it's not more acceptable. It's globalized. Um, for you, that there is that evolution in your main character. Um, how do you, I guess, how did you define that the pride, the the community, and then evolve this character in such a way where he's completely different at the end?
Um, I mean, I think in many ways, like, knowing the story of other guys, right, we were able to tap into that. Like, one of our executive producers, is Risk, who's the godfather of LA graffiti, and he's a legend. You know, his story arc is like that, like breaking out of the streets and being open to opportunities, to painting for brands. I mean, he painted on Michael Jackson's set and Ice Cube sets back in the day. He's painted for Aerosmith. Like, he's really exploded onto the scene, but he wasn't always like that. So I think Danny was able to see a living, breathing person who had done what that main character had done. You know, for me, my arc ends at the streets. I never broke out into the legal art world, but Danny was able to talk to Risk and hang out with him and see it and breathe it. So I think that helped him embody that character, and it even helped when we were writing the script of the film, because Risk was involved from before we had even written the script. Well, we had a first draft, but he gave us notes on it, and he was involved from the beginning.
So, with your background in graffiti and street art, did that make the filming easier, or did it give you more of a pressure to like have this movie more authentic?
I think it's both. I think it definitely made it easier. I don't think a director that's never done graffiti or street art, I'm not going to say never, but I can imagine just how much tougher it would be. And, you know, at the end of the day, it might affect the final product, you know, because this needs to look authentic. The people in this world are not going to deal with some inauthentic, corny looking stuff. So it's got to look real. And for me personally, I put my life on this movie. I wasn't going to allow it to look anything less than the real deal. So there was a lot of thought and a lot of time that went into like coordinating that with the graffiti artists, the actors, the cinematographers. So I think coming from the graffiti world, it made it easier for sure. And of course there was pressure. You know, for me, there was no way. Like I say, I don't care if you like this movie or you don't like it. Like, for me, they're equal. That's what's great about movies. Like, some love it, some like it. I'm just appreciative to the people that want to see it, that are interested enough in this graffiti world to actually watch it. And I hope people walk away saying like, man, that looked real. That felt real.
Well, thank you for your time. It is a fantastic film. I think you accomplished your goal, and I hope the best for this film.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.